Hey guys, it is Friday here in West Virginia, and today we're doing our regular Free It Friday. Last Friday was a special day because it was the 4th, so we did that red, white, and blue special. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Today we're doing a Hollywood, not holiday. I was ready to say holiday again. We're doing a Hollywood Free It Friday, and we're focusing on Christine today, but not Christine herself. We're taking a look at all the supporting vehicles. I didn't even bring a Christine out. Actually, I do have one over here in the junkyard. This one here, it's the partially restored one that I kind of made look a little more unrestored than what it was. I dulled out the shiny paint to make it look a little more suiting for the junkyard. I have two of them, that's why I did that to this one. But anyways, so there's Christine. So we can have a Christine in the mix since this is the star of the film. And the other ones are just supporting vehicles. So I guess we'll start with the least notable car of the movie. This one is almost as unofficial of a star of the movie as Darnell's Cadillac. This is the detective's Plymouth Fury, and I don't even remember the detective's name, to be honest. He is actually that much of an unimportant character in the movie. So, and I know the movie pretty well. I've seen it, I would say, at least 20, maybe 30 times since I was a kid until now. It's still my favorite car movie, one of my favorite horror movies. Also, I'm a fan of the car. I've seen it a couple of times, probably 5 times, but nobody makes a replica of it. I wish they would. They make it in 1/18th, but not 1/64th. So yeah, I'm hoping someday somebody makes one of those in 1/64. That and the Corvette from Corvette Summer. But the people that are fans of those movies are dying off, unfortunately. The last generation that would have been a fan of those two movies is my generation of being between 40 and 50. Maybe some people younger than us will like those two movies, not sure. But yeah, I would love to see those two cars made in 1/64th. I don't even think the Corvettes from Corvette Summer has even been made in any scale for that matter. I think now people are 3D printing parts to modify like model kits and such. But anyways, back to this movie. So this is probably one of the least important vehicles of the movie, but we do see it a couple of times. And there's a couple of other background cars you see a couple of times. That is Darnell's Cadillac and Arnie's mom and dad's Volvo. Now, the Cadillac of Darnell, I think, was a 74. And I believe it was black with a white top. I know it had the white Lando top, but I can't remember if it was a very dark blue or if it was black. I think it was black, but one of the best scenes where you get to see it, it's at night, and the second scene that you get to see it, it's dirty, so it's really hard to tell. But I ordered an Auto World 1976 Cadillac, their first release of it actually, the Land Yacht. It's black with a white top, but it's a 76. I think it's a couple years newer than Darnell's, but it will do for now, and I'm going to put that in the collection of Christine stuff. So anyways, this just has Christine and the Christine movie title, how it's written on the box and such. Actually, that's the cover of the movie. And then on the back side, it just says, how do you kill something that can't possibly be alive? So that is the car. And everybody has the joke about all these self-driving cars nowadays that Christine was the first ever self-driving car, that Plymouth made the first self-driving car. So we opened this through the back so we can get this open. And these guys are getting pretty hard to find. Actually, all of those vehicles from Christine, the movie, are getting hard to find that Greenlight made. I was actually shocked to know and see how hard it is to find the Charger and how much it costs nowadays. because back when they were released in 2018, they were all over the place in the Philippines. Like and I think they still were up until like 2022 when I left. You could still find one for maybe like $10 or something. But here they're going for $30+, and it's just crazy. And this one here is starting to claim around $15 a pop. So, and I do have an extra one of these. I was going to try to collect everything opened and everything carded like I was doing when I was collecting before, but it's just gotten too pricey now. I'm just going for the loose collection. So, yeah, that's why the second one of these I opened and made for my junkyard. The second one of these I'm just going to sell. And I think I may have a Camaro, an extra Camaro too, but I'll have to check. So anyways, there is the 77 Fury of the Detective. Nothing really that special. The Furies look cool with the open grill. I like the grill of the Fury a little better than the Monaco because of that reason. And the double stack headlights of the late 70s is cool. The front end almost looks like a Monte Carlo front end. And I do like the late 70s. Actually, the 77, right before they dropped to the smaller downsized Monte Carlo and started the G-body platform, when they were still the A-body platform, the 77 was a very nice looking car. But these aren't bad either. These old Monacos and Furies are growing on me now. And Greenlight did a fantastic job with these. The detail, all the details are correct and there. And the scaling seems to be pretty accurate because these were huge cars. And the 58 Plymouth is actually a little shorter. So the 77 Fury is a little bit longer than the 58 Fury in this case. But in real life, I would have said that probably they're the same size. So I'm going to say Greenlight got pretty close to being true to scale with this one. So let's put him right there. Now, second supporting vehicle that we're going to look at would be probably Repperton's Camaro, because it gets killed halfway through the movie, or at least 2/3 of the way through the movie. And it looks pretty good with these wheels. They're just a little bit big in diameter and just a little bit, I guess I would say too shallow. The offset isn't enough. It needed to be just a tad bit deeper, but I can deal with them. They're not bad. I tried putting a set of the turbine or vector style wheels from M2 on this like I did with the General Lee Custom, and it just didn't suit this car right. Actually, these wheels look better on it than the Vector M2 wheels did. So yeah, so I just decided to leave these on there. The only thing I could say is the diameter is a little too big. If the diameter was a little bit smaller, it would have been okay, even being the wrong offset. The wheel could have been acceptable. It's just the diameter is a little too big and the offset's wrong, so it makes them look a little bit more off than what they really are. So the car's done right with the color and everything, and it was just a plain Jane V8 Camaro in the movie. And in the movie, when Christine T-bones this thing and pushes it into the garage, there is a scene because it cocked the subframe and pulled the fender away from the firewall. You can see in there pretty good, and you can tell that there's no motor or transmission in the car. That's why the Plymouth is able to push it so easily deep into the garage for that scene. They pulled the drivetrain. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this one out of the box and take a look at it. Same thing on the back of the package. How do you kill something that can't possibly be alive? And the licensing stuff and where to find Greenlight online and such. So here is Buddy Repperton's Camaro. And in that scene, Christine kills 3 people. So Repperton was killed on the road while she was burning. She ran him down and ran him over, and then the other 2 were killed in the gas station blast. Actually, Repperton's friend that was riding with him was crushed by Christine in the Camaro, and then the explosion happened and killed the other guy that was the attendant at the gas station, and I can't remember their names. I just remember Repperton's name and the fat guy's name I used to remember too, the one she crushed in the loading dock, but I can't remember his name now. But anyways, yeah, so this is a really nice casting. Greenlight did a great job on the Camaro casting. I was going to say Christine did a great job on the Camaro casting, but Greenlight did a great job on this casting. If you compare it to other ones, it's a little narrow looking, but besides that, it's really a nice casting. This one and Johnny Lightning has a pretty decent 67, 68. I think Johnny Lightning has probably the best 69. Greenlight, they messed up their 69 casting because they retooled this one and just made the wheel opening squared off. So now that space between the top of the tire to the top of the quarter is too big. But their 67 and 68 is very nicely done. And as you can see, this is just a plain Jane Camaro, nothing special, just like Repperton's was. So, now moving along to the other car that you've seen in the movie, probably not almost as much as Christine, but it would have been in second place. That's Dennis's 1968 Dodge Charger. Back tires should have been a little bit bigger, but that's about it. Everything else is pretty good on this one. The tire brand, the Kragers and such, just the back tires were a tad bit bigger on Dennis's Charger in the movie. So let's go ahead and get this one out and look at it. Yes, I opened this one and mine was flawed, and it really teed me off because I did pay $25 for this car. And $25 don't sound that bad compared to what people are selling them for on eBay. I bought this from a hobby shop called Troy's Toys in Kansas, and actually that's where I got them all from. It's a great place to deal with. Troy's a pretty good guy. He has some hard to find old stock at his store. You can find him online, and he's a nice guy to talk to. If you need anything, you can call him up. But anyways, this one, when I opened it up, the back tires would not roll. I thought it was something to do with the wheel being tight against the quarter, that the axle is too long, but that wasn't the case. The interior bucket on this one is slid back too far. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they did. And I had to I took a screwdriver and heated it up and stuck in there and melted the interior bucket and kind of pushed the screwdriver down on it to make a recessed area for the tires to clear. So now it rolls perfect. But yeah, the one that's the most expensive is the one that had the issue that had to be fixed. But yeah, cool car. As you can see, the 68 with the round tail lights, the round marker lights, the fully open grille with hideaway headlights and such, and all the plate and plate numbers are supposed to be accurate to the cars in the movie. So that is kind of cool too, that they had that added little touch and such. So very cool car. I wish Auto World would give us a 68 to 70 Charger, but they don't. They are going to do a 68 Coronet this year later on, and a 70 and 71 Sport Fury, but still no news on a second gen Charger from them, or M2. I would like to see this car done by M2, but all we have right now is Greenlight, Johnny Lightning, and Hot Wheels. And Johnny Lightning's is nice, but it's a little too small. And the one from Hot Wheels is nice, but some of the proportions are a little exaggerated, but the scaling is not bad. So that's the one thing that makes Hot Wheels a desirable one to customize for people, is the General Lee. But anyways, guys, that's it for our Christine lineup. Next week, we have some muscle cars for Mopar Monday from Greenlight. Over the weekend, I don't know if we have anything or not that will be cracking open for you, possibly But if not, we'll be back on Monday. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday or sooner. Turn on your notification bell so you know if we launch one of these surprise videos. Thanks for watching, guys.